Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, with several Democrats going against their own party, it appears the government shutdown may be coming to an end. We'll have the latest from Washington, D.C. Plus, Marine veterans and those currently enlisted celebrate the 250th birthday of the United States Marine Corps in Lansing. We'll have the details on the ceremony, and we'll tell you about the Golden Apple Scholars Program in Michigan, meant to increase the amount of teachers in the state. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Welcome in. A first look at your forecast. It has definitely been a winter wonderland, even though we are still into fall. We saw some really decent snow totals starting from over the weekend, Saturday, when we first started to see the snow fall. For tonight, though, we'll start to see the snow tapering off, at least temperatures into the mid-20s. But of course, when we still have some of those breezy, windy conditions, the feels-like temperatures could be as low as the lower teens through the overnight. So continue to bundle up. Colder temperatures for tomorrow as well. I'll have an update on your Futurecast and your 7-day in just a few minutes.
Kelly, thank you very much. After 41 days, an end to the nation's longest ever government shutdown may be in sight. The Senate passed funding legislation today that could bring the shutdown to an end this week. This comes as thousands of flight cancellations and delays continues. Erica Brown has more.
The Senate passed funding legislation Monday, taking a major step toward ending the government shutdown after a group of Democrats broke with their party and voted with Republicans to end the stalemate. Earlier in the day, Republican lawmakers expressed gratitude for the progress made towards ending the historic shutdown.
It appears to us this morning that our long national nightmare is finally coming to an end, and we're grateful for that.
The agreement funds the government through January 30th, reverses shutdown-related layoffs, and guarantees back pay to all federal workers. It also includes 3 longer appropriations bills with funding for SNAP benefits. The deal does not include an extension of Affordable Care Act tax credits, a key demand from Democrats during the shutdown, only the promise of a vote in December.
The overwhelming majority of Senate Democrats, led by Leader Schumer, are opposing this bill. We're going to continue that fight to fix our broken health care system.
President Trump said he supports the deal.
Too bad it was closed, but we'll be opening up our country very quickly.
The amended bill will still need House approval, and Speaker Mike Johnson urged members to return to Washington quickly for a possible vote. If the House can pass the measure with these changes, it heads to the president for his signature. As the deal works its way through Congress, flight disruptions continue at airports nationwide. On Monday, more than 2,000 flights were canceled.
I miss my assignments at school. I have we've been here for 3 days because of planes. That shouldn't be happening.
In a social media post, President Trump urged air traffic controllers to return to work, threatening to dock their pay, but said he would recommend a $10,000 bonus for those who stayed on the job during the shutdown.
Those who rely on SNAP food benefits remain in limbo. The Trump administration ordered states to undo steps taken to restore full benefits as legal challenges move through the courts. Results from Tuesday's election in Marquette County have officially been finalized. The Marquette County Board of Canvassers met this afternoon to go over and manually enter any votes with unmatched signatures or overseas ballots. Each election, the board holds 2 meetings to make sure all votes match their precinct while allowing the public to view the process.
We made sure all the votes matched the tapes, and then we went ahead and certified that portion of it. However, then we have to wait 6 days before we can reconvene for anything that could be outstanding still.
Today, the board only had 1 vote to finalize, making no changes to the official outcomes. The county clerk says even at this scale, it goes to show how every vote counts, no matter the election.
The significance is we make sure that even on a small scale, large scale, your vote does matter and your vote does count. So that's what your Board of Canvassers for the county is doing, is making sure that all the votes in Marquette County are being heard and all the votes are being counted.
Official election results are now available online, and we'll have a link to that at WZMQ19.com. The United States Marine Corps is marking 250 years of service today. In Lansing, Michigan veterans and Senate and state leaders gathered at the Capitol to honor the milestone with the Marine Corps' traditional cake-cutting ceremony. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has more from today's celebrations.
At the Michigan State Capitol, Marines and veterans came together to celebrate 2.5 centuries of Marine Corps history.
Today is about celebrating the birth of what I would say is the strongest military organization in the world. That's just my personal preference because I'm a very proud Marine.
Love says it's a day to share stories that connect generations of Marines serving around the world.
The Marines are very passionate about our history and making sure we tell our stories, but also that we share our stories. So today, Marines all around the world, they will be celebrating, sharing stories between the oldest Marine, the youngest Marine.
That tradition came to life in Lansing.
I had the honor of being the youngest Marine here today, and as per tradition, the oldest Marine gives a slice of cake to the youngest Marine as a symbol of passing on traditions.
Volkman says being a part of the ceremony is a reminder of the lifelong impact of the Marine Corps.
It's an honor to be a part of living history, to uphold the highest traditions of the Marine Corps. Without it, I would not have reached my full potential that I am today.
Love says as Veterans Day approaches, the Marine Corps' 250th birthday is an opportunity to reflect on service and sacrifice.
Today we celebrate the Marines. Tomorrow we celebrate all veterans. I think with everything that's going on in the world, it is great to take a pause and appreciate those who serve our nation, those who raised their right hand and made the strong commitment no matter what, to serve and protect this nation, no matter what.
From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Applications are now open for a program training future teachers to fill vacancies in Michigan schools. Our own Lily Simmons spoke with the organization and a Marquette student in the program about how it works.
I've always wanted to be a teacher since I was little.
Northern Michigan University student Lexi Landis discovered the Golden Apple Scholars Program while exploring that potential career path.
I was observing my senior year at a local elementary school, and the principal had pulled me aside and told me about all of the opportunities Golden Apple could bring.
The Golden Apple Foundation recruits aspiring teachers attending Michigan schools, and the Scholars Program supports them on their journey.
We look for rising seniors in high school, freshmen and sophomores in college, and then we support them through any undergrad across the state with placements after they graduate, and then get them connected with a mentor for their first couple years of teaching.
Landis was part of the first cohort of Michigan scholars. She says one of the most valuable aspects of the program is the Scholar Institute.
I was able to work with students that were below the 10th percentile, get experience in different kind of classrooms. People higher up in the education department teach us things like how to build classroom relationships, make sure that your students have their basic needs met first, and then how to teach them the curriculum.
Golden Apple Scholars commit to teaching for 5 years in a Michigan school of need.
We define a school of need as a school where 30% or more of the students in that school qualify for free and reduced lunch, which in Michigan is about 84% of our schools.
And the statewide demand for certified, dedicated teachers is great.
In the 23-24 school year, we had about 2,400 teacher vacancies that went unfilled. Students in Michigan really deserve to have those amazing educators in front of them.
Scholars like Landis say thanks to Golden Apple, they are on their way to becoming the best educators they can be for the students who need them.
They have had me get uncomfortable so then I can be more comfortable when the time comes, especially your first couple of years. It's going to be really hard, but they have done everything they can to prepare me, and I'm feeling less weight on my shoulders walking in.
To apply before the December 1st priority deadline, visit WZMQ19.com. Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News, Marquette.
Your first warning weather forecast is after the break. Plus, the FDA just made a big change to treatment warnings that could impact millions of women facing menopause symptoms. And pharmaceutical company Merck is announcing a new daily pill that could help with cholesterol levels. We'll have the details when we come back.
Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
Welcome back. We're going to break down kind of what we saw, but also looking forward, how much more snow are we going to get? Just in the Marquette area for today, 6.7 inches of snow. And again, that's at one place. And the beautiful thing about lake effect snow is when you get those heavier bands, remember you could be one block or one neighborhood over, and that could be the difference of another 2 inches of snow. So that was just for today. We'll see what the midnight numbers bring. And then tomorrow we'll take a look at these multiple day snow totals. But 30 degrees for the high when the average is 40. So it's been very cold. Of course, the feels like temperatures are getting as low as the teens into the overnight. So obviously, of course, we still do have a chance of frost and also a chance of some leftover snowflakes for tonight. So that means tomorrow morning, sending the kids out to the bus stop, and when you're headed to work, when you need to take a few minutes to maybe scrape off the windshield, you're going to need the gloves, you're going to need the scarves covering exposed skin, because when you have wind chill and feels like temperatures that low, it only takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes to start maybe feeling the effects of, some of those extreme cold impacts to the human body. So please keep that in mind, with still more snow on the way, not as heavy for tomorrow morning, but you can already see that circulation continuing just north of us. And when we get the warmer temperatures throughout the evening time, about 5, 6 o'clock, we start to see that transition from complete snow to a wintry mix. And then in some places, it will be just completely rain. So whatever snow potentially we get for tomorrow morning, even if it does stick, won't stick for too long, because it'll get washed away. And then when you factor in the warmer temperatures later this week, a lot of this could get washed away, but that also could mean as we get freezing temperatures back in the overnight, we get refreezing. It's a whole mess in the winter across the Upper Peninsula. But if you want another visual on the snow for the next 48 hours into the Marquette area at least, it will stay on the lower side of things. So I think we're past the heaviest snow. We still will see a few of those leftover lingering snow showers, but most of the heavy part is out of the way. The winds won't be that typical lake effect wind that we see either. So any of the snow that needs to happen, it's not really going to be lake effect driven as much any longer. I want to mention this one more time. Again, please check in anyone in your life that's a little bit older or maybe has some heart issues, because all it takes is 2 degrees of a temperature drop, which we have definitely been having this past week, and it raises that risk of heart attack by 2%. So the colder it is, the more increased risk you have. Shortness of breath, pain in your arms or anything like that, chest pains, please take breaks when you're shoveling, because all that strain on your body could be very impactful, especially if you're a little bit older and trying to shovel all of that yourself. So with all the snow and all the cold, we are going to be seeing some warmer temperatures even this week, but then the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook does show us trending warmer than normal. So again, a lot of this will wash away, but for the time being, when we have it tonight and potentially some more snow for tomorrow and even Wednesday, please keep that in mind. Cover exposed skin, but some warmer temperatures closer to 50 degrees with nice clearing, lots of sunshine. We'll kind of get a deep breath and a reset, and some isolated showers and cloudy skies on the way for the weekend.
Kelly, thank you again. Up to 10 million women in the U.S. suffer from menopause symptoms every year, and according to AARP, many receive little to no treatment. Today, the FDA announced it will no longer require a significant warning label with hormone therapies, hoping to encourage more women to seek treatment. Gwen Baumgartner explains.
The FDA says this so-called black box warning found on more than 20 hormone-based drugs to treat menopause symptoms is uncalled for.
The companies are, generally speaking, very excited when the FDA tells them you can remove a scary warning.
In 2002, a study found hormone therapy can lead to an increased risk of stroke, blood clots, dementia, and breast cancer. But FDA Commissioner Marty Makary now says the research was misrepresented and the warning is unnecessary.
We are listening to doctors who have been waving the flag in the air saying, hey, we have this wrong. We are listening to women who have been challenging the paternalism of medicine.
Health officials point to studies that suggest hormone therapy has few risks when started before age 60 or within 10 years of menopause symptoms.
We're challenging outdated thinking and recommitting to evidence-based medicine that empowers rather than restricts.
But some medical experts are criticizing the FDA for not being transparent in this process and for not convening an independent panel to look at the issue.
For about 6 or 7 years, I felt like I was struggling.
Patient Colleen Fisher says she found little help from her doctor when looking for relief.
You feel like something's off and you're not quite sure what it is. For me, I had experienced really severe night sweats and gone to my OBGYN, and she sort of was like, suck it up a little bit.
The FDA says hormone therapy still carries significant risks for some women, so patients should talk to their doctor about their symptoms and treatment options.
There's promising news for Americans living with heart disease or at risk for a severe cardiovascular event. Drug maker Merck says it's developed a new daily cholesterol pill that can dramatically lower LDL or bad cholesterol. It's an alternative to expensive monoclonal antibody injections that few Americans take. The study looked at nearly 3,000 adults. After 24 weeks, their LDL numbers dropped by almost 60%. Participants also took their daily statin. The two pills work differently to tackle high cholesterol. The data has not yet been published in a medical journal, so CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder says it's important to be a little cautious about these results.
Until we see that data, you have to be a little skeptical. And then there are other things in terms of the study. They only looked at the LDL numbers. They didn't actually look at, did it prevent heart attack and stroke? And ultimately, that's what matters here.
Merck is expected to submit the drug for FDA approval next year, with it possibly becoming available in 2027. There's no word on what that price may be. Still to come on your 19 News, there are changes coming to how people can place bets on future Major League Baseball games. We'll have that and more when we come back.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Major League Baseball is putting new limits on legal gambling. Bets on individual pitches will be capped at $200. Scott McFarland reports this follows the indictment of two Cleveland Guardians players for allegedly rigging pitches.
Mr. Ortiz, any comment at all?
Major League pitcher Luis Ortiz covered his head as he left federal court in Boston today. The 26-year-old Dominican pitcher was arrested this weekend at Logan Airport, charged with conspiracy and fraud. Prosecutors allege this pitch he threw in June in a game against St. Louis was part of a scheme with some gamblers, who, in a suspicious series of wagers, bet heavily that Ortiz's pitch would be outside the strike zone. His attorney tells CBS News Ortiz is innocent. Ortiz's teammate, Emmanuel Classe, is also charged in the case, accused of sabotaging some of his own pitches and tipping and texting with gamblers about it in advance. Classe is not yet in custody, nor has he made a statement. The same prosecutors brought a similar case last month, charging an NBA player with scheming with gamblers on so-called prop bets, in which gamblers wager on individual plays, not games. The American Gaming Association's Joe Maloney says betting companies have built safeguards to detect this type of alleged fraud.
Leagues, regulators, and integrity monitors have visibility into all of the volume of betting that's happening on a given sport.
They see a suspicious surge.
They see everything. They see the volume of bets, what's happening, what's popular, what isn't.
As the cases unfold, some states, including Maryland and Ohio, home to the Cleveland Guardians, are considering new restrictions on these sports prop bets.
A historic opera house in Howell, Michigan is getting a multi-million-dollar makeover, and its first performance in over 100 years is already in the works. Ella Myers tells us about the history behind the building and its long-awaited reopening.
That's the voice of Sarah Catherine Moore, who has earned the lead role in the Howell Opera House's production of The Pirate of Penzance, the first show in over 100 years for the Opera House.
This event is so important because it will help us celebrate where we're going, as well as saying goodbye to this space, and help rededicate it to the community. And
the Opera House, which was originally built in 1881, isn't going anywhere, but it will be renovated. The space has no heat or air conditioning. The plaster needs work, and Vanook and producer Sam Logan Kalegi tell me accessibility inside the building needs to be improved.
We'd like to have an elevator.
The two tell me the hope in putting all this work, plus $2 million of grant money allocated by the state, is to give Howell and Livingston County an arts renaissance.
This is, in my opinion, the epicenter of arts and music in Livingston County and in Howell. The infrastructure is not only here, but also the heritage and the stories. I mean, you just walk backstage or downstairs, and you'll see all the old posters or all the signatures that are on the wall.
Auditions are open for The Pirate of Penzance on the 10th, 11th, and 12th. I'm told those who are interested should prepare a Broadway song and comedy monologue to show off your stuff.
it's about getting the community excited and proud of what's happening in the Opera House, proud of what's happening in their community.
No more buttoned-up banking. Brick and mortars are thinking outside the box to get customers through to the front door. Christiane Benavides follows the scent and found something for a man and his best friend.
For John Kay and his 3-year-old rescue pup Harley, a trip to the bank means a stop at the ATM, the automated treat machine.
It's good for the community, for everybody to get together with the dogs and hang out.
It's a dog treat dispenser made to look like ATMs that perform financial transactions for humans. Paul Ron is vice president and store manager at TD Bank in Coral Gables, Florida.
The dog would walk up and stand on the mat. He or she would stick their snout in the bowl.
They can be hard to navigate for some dogs, as we discovered. But the point is not just about the pets, rather about their people. Unplugging from the digital banking world to step into store branches.
For us, it's about creating innovative experiences for our customers. It also gives us an opportunity to have yet another point of interaction.
These treat dispensers will soon be available at more than a dozen locations nationwide, from here in Florida up to Maine. At Capital One, it's what's in your wallet and in your cup.
Honestly, I'm here probably 3 times a week.
This cafe in New York City is one of more than 60 with the Capital One name across the U.S. Cardholders like Isabella Galati get a discount on the coffee, but the atmosphere is free.
It's so accessible, and I love all the windows and the drinks and people, so I really like it here.
We create, first of all, a very open and welcoming design, but we also enable people to sit side by side on a couch over a cup of coffee with one of our ambassadors to talk through money matters and financial needs in general.
Whether it's the human touch or the canine extras, banks are now looking to the brick and mortar to reconnect with customers.
Capital One cafes also have community rooms for nonprofit organizations to hold meetings free of charge. Actor Glenn Powell talks cardio and Tom Cruise while the film Frankenstein goes full glam. Gwen Bumgarner has tonight's entertainment headlines.
Come on down. The Price is Right meets NCIS Origins in an unexpected crossover event. The two shows are coming together to honor those who have served as part of a special Veterans Day episode. These actors from NCIS Origins portray Marines in the show and here help to introduce some exciting prizes.
Starting with an unforgettable trip to our NCIS Origins home base, San Diego.
Catch this episode of The Price is Right tomorrow on CBS and Paramount Plus. It's a storyline known for its gothic horror, but this reimagined take of Frankenstein adds in some opulent beauty. The Netflix film incorporates historical pieces and jewels from Tiffany's iconic jewelry house.
In the film, you're going to see some treasures such as a lava stone necklace from about 1870. This is a piece that's very fragile, and yet we felt it was appropriate for the character of Claire, played by Mia Goth in Frankenstein.
The movie features 27 Tiffany pieces. More than half were pulled from their historic archives. Actor Glenn Powell is sharing his secrets on how he prepared for his latest role. Powell stars in The Running Man, an action thriller based on the 1982 Stephen King novel. Powell does his own stunts in the movie and sought out a well-known mentor during training.
There's a guy that has more energy than anyone. It's Tom Cruise, and a lot of experience running on camera, so he was very generous with his advice.
The Running Man heads to theaters this Friday.
Now don't go away. When we come back, Kelly Rowland's going to have our final look at weather. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Hope everyone got through this Monday. It's definitely a rough start to the week in terms of those cold temperatures and the snow, but at least the good news is we kind of knew it was coming, and we know it's still going to last a little bit longer before we get some warmer temperatures mixing in here. But it's still going to be cold for tonight, mid-20s, but this doesn't even factor in the winds. We have feels like temperatures getting down to the teens, and that's ultimately what matters to us humans because that's what we feel. So headed out tomorrow morning, still have the layers, cover the exposed skin. Temperatures will still be hard pressed to see the 40s. We'll stay into the upper 30s with maybe a few rays of sunshine, and the snow definitely tapering off, but we will have some leftover snowflakes flying around, especially out towards the Newberry area, but at least the lake effect machine does take a bit of a break for us for tomorrow. But we'll still see some snow showers lingering through the midweek. We'll get clearing skies with plenty of sunshine and, of course, some warmer temperatures pushing 50 degrees just ahead of the weekend. Weekend may not have snow, at least for Saturday, but we're definitely going to see some precipitation before the temperatures go back down. This time next week, could be seeing some more snow.
Kelly, thank you again. And finally tonight, Marquette County McDonald's locations are showing support for SNAP recipients across the area today from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at McDonald's in Harvey and Marquette and Ishpeming. Parents and their children each received a free McChicken meal deal upon presenting their SNAP card. Following over a week of pauses and lapses in SNAP benefits, store owners say the offer was well met across the county, serving over 275 meals by mid-afternoon.
We've had a full lobby pretty much the whole day. We expect to continue to be busy at all 4 of our locations throughout the rest of the day. It's just really great to give back and help people out, who are experiencing tough times right now.
The same McDonald's will be also serving free meals to veterans and active duty service members tomorrow for Veterans Day. And that's when we'll see you next. Have a great night.